50 years old.
It's just
and
interesting.
I'm beginning to feel that the woman did that intentionally. Very times that's what happens. They get a second wife, they forget about the first one for reasons best known to them.
Well, God help them.
All right, on page 5, FCTA begins enforcement action on revoked 1,095 property title. Our Okada rider who sought help from friend was murdered in Ibadan. The story is on page 13. All right, let's go to all the stories this morning. Communique issued at the end at the HID Awolowo Foundation Dialogue on Tuesday, November 25th of 2025 at Efun Yela Hall, Ikenne, Ogun State. Right, when tension toward at Makinde's interface with Circular Road stakeholders. What happened? Grab a copy, it's on page 3. All right, let's go to all the stories on page 4. We have Ayeda Tiwa approves 500 new Amotekun officers, revive justice of the peace in Ondo. Insecurity involved traditional rulers for lasting solution. Ekiti Monarch urges government. All right, other stories. Governor Yebanji ramped others must maintain tempo of Ekiti development. How early years of Okeho impacted my public service. That's coming from Olaopa. Ondo APC chief charges political leaders on philanthropy. All right, that story is also there. All right, alleged fraud. EFCC invites Buhari's AGF, Abubakar Mailami. The battle begins. LP reaffirms Abure's leadership at emergency NEC meeting. Dati, INEC attend. Party plans congresses. Owner of demolished building in Iyano, Ajia appealed to Governor Makinde. Stakeholders hail Ilorin Emir over Emirates, Doba. And we'll come to page 7, or your APC Youth Plan Summit says they are ready to champion change. MG renews commitment to tackling insecurity. Jonathan dismisses Guinea-Bissau crisis as ceremonial coup. Tegbe, former Oyo Guba aspirant to chair Committee on National Tax Policy Implementation. All right, that story is on page 7. Southwest citizens should prepare to defend themselves. Sheikh Akil Bagot said that. Ask the doctor, my urine stream splits into 2. All right, my leg cramps, milk from my breast, eating bread as a diabetic, eye bag under my left eye. Oof. Cancer warning signs. Can cancer come back? Is cancer a silent killer? All right, those are some of the stories there. All right, let's take some other ones. On page 10, Buhari government was favorable to me more than this present government. All right, on the Women Wills page, the root of all evil or the root to freedom. On the Windows column, yes, Basi Otu, bring back our Tinapa. I'll go to page 12, my wife, okay, that story, my wife of 29 years now sleeps with a landlord, other men in our neighborhood. You need to see the picture, you know, that was used by the cartoon picture. It really depicts a lot. All right, he shouldn't complain because he abandoned me after he brought a new wife from Lagos. Okay, it wasn't from Lagos. You know how touche the wife can be. Okay, my husband shows me no affection, owes me 100,000. That's according to the wife. I agree to divorce. That's according to the husband. Okay, well, I want a 1-year-old marriage dissolved. Oh, wife tells court. I have other wives, but she's special. Wow. See, it's just a twist. Life is just a twist. My wife sold my property after giving her money for business. That's according to the husband. And the wife said, I sold his property to feed our children after he abandoned us.
Oh boy.
All right. Man accept money to divorce wife. I live like a widow because my husband refuses to work. He smokes, drinks all day. Okay. Nollywood will witness tremendous boost with Aria Networks. Idris Olagoke Badmos, Aria Network chief, said that. Right, other stories and the Dele Omowuli Okiki Jason Babatmishe. Others unite as Royal Priest Studio Max 2 years in Ibadan. All right, Enchanted coincide the Water Deal event to bring nostalgic old school Christmas to Lagos. All right, other stories there. On the societal gist page, Abiodun Ponle hosts a private wedding ceremony in Montegro. All right, when Lagos Wine Club captivate guests, children give Professor Unwa Baku befitting burial. May so rest in peace. Foley Coker set deadline for club opening. Um, people, right? Let's go straight to Okeho 2025, Okeho Day, happy celebration. We live in a time when leaders lie unprovoked, when deep fakes animate even the departed. That's coming from Lola Shone. And page 18, how Nigerian farmers can leverage tech to improve soil health, boost food security. How Okada rider sought for help from friend but was murdered in Ibadan. Quite unfortunate. All right, PDP's court of particular concern, how I ended up marrying a man who gave me a lift few days after Xmas. Maureen Layokun, educationist and publisher. All right, we'll go to page 23. Chess champion Tunde Onakoya, immortalized in children's book. Folic acid, parental multivitamin, cut autism risk by 30%. That's according to studies. And then we'll go straight to page 26. Out of this world, how bed bugs have been discovered to be crime detectives. That's serious. All right, what's your opinion on President Tinubu's withdrawal of police personnel from VIP? Yeah, you have some stories there this morning. All right, we'll go to vote of thanks, HID Awolowo Summit 2025, Anambra Global Soludo pays thank you visit to Tinubu. Made in South Africa Para Games begin in Abeokuta. 12 million naira at stake as Obasa Games prelim stage ends. And of course, Oseme will be back for Dubai Gala Boss. All right, Rivers United bow to RS Berkane in Uyo. FIBA World Women's Cup qualifier, D Tigres captain lament. Chelsea deserve to be in EPL title race. And of course, that's as much as I have on the Saturday Tribune.
Well, on the Nation newspaper this morning, the first story hitting me, protection, VIPs turn to correctional service and SCDC and private security firms. Police disown Vara memo on withdrawal of officers. That's what we have right here. There's more stories about that in page 4. On page 2, EFCC proves Malami over alleged multi-million-dollar deals. Ambassadors asking why Tinubu opted for OK, Dalhatu and Aria. You find more on page 3. Now, flipping onto the inside pages, we have this one right here on page 2. We have the First Lady urges passage of gender parity bill as she hosted the National Assembly to dinner. Enugu arrests groom, parents, in-laws, others marrying 13-year-old girl.
That's crime against humanity.
They are saying
13-year-old.
The interesting writer is their excuses. They said we married her for our only son.
At what age? How old is the son?
It's just interesting.
Is the son 13?
There's nothing about the son.
There's no excuse for marrying a 13-year-old.
I mean, there's no excuse whatsoever.
She's not ripe. She's not ready. She's a child. She's a minor.
It's just interesting. The entire family doing that. Not one of them stopping to think about.
Are you actually sure it's for their son?
That's what they said.
That's what they will say.
So it's just interesting.
It's a crime.
Okay, now I get why you're asking that question, because there's a part that says part of those arrested, the groom's parents, the groom himself, a native doctor. who acted as the matchmaker. So
Yeah, I mean, it's joining them.
there's more to that story.
I mean, one needs to really dig.
All right, on page 3, court orders release of 27 houses wrongly seized by EFCC. On page 4, we have Guinea-Bissau election results must be announced. That's coming from Jonathan, who insisted there was no coup in the West African country. On page 5, federal government vows to defeat insecurity, 6 stronger global supports. And we have Osun 2026, 9 aspirants jostle for APC Guba tickets. And we have Tinubu establishes National Tax Policy Implementation Committee to drive new law execution. We have appeal court strikes out Nnamdi Kanu's rights breach case against DSS and the AGF. Army promotes 28 officers to rank of Major General and 77 to Brigadier General. Okay, that's interesting. Federal government rules out ECOWAS national biometric identity cards after 11 years of conception. Okay, we have this one. Tinubu directs stronger South-South cooperation. That's on page 7. And on this same page, you have this interesting story. Ex-police officers protest at National Assembly over delay on bill seeking exits from pension scheme. The cries go on everywhere. And on page 10, school abductions, letter to northern governors. On 11, we have furor over alleged burning to death of military officer by wife 5 months after marriage. Anxiety in southwest states over threats of attack by terrorists. That's on page 12. You have the writer saying, Monarch advocates deployment of bees and ants to expel bandits. A current wave of abductions artificial, says ex-Amotekun commander. Flipping on to what we have on the center spreaders on pages 16 and 17. It's titled Play. We have Heisen Vitinha as PSG targets league on dominance. Slots challenges Liverpool stars to produce positive results. Cunha out again as Manchester United head to Crystal Palace on new Old Trafford to be ready for 2035 World Cup. Wounded Barca, shaky Madrid need La Liga morale boost. Cranking London derby, there's Chelsea against Arsenal as Arteta seeks another statement win at the Stamford Bridge. Well, we're talking about that game. Chelsea's Palmer fit to face Arsenal after injury layoff. Guardiola 6 Manchester City rebound for Leeds test. And UBO champion Heidi Boster to challenge Ghana's Dodu. Moving on away from there, we have on Rave, that's on page 20. Jazzman Olofin clears air over its track, Raise the Roof. Okay, and that's in line with the Adekunle Gold controversy. A more interesting story. Yvonne Jegede celebrates 20 years in Nollywood, said to support 5,000 children education. There's someone, Miss Dem, saying Nigeria is probably the biggest creative empire in Africa. And yes, we have this one coming from page 24 on People. A 90-year-old retired cleric. It's quite intriguing. It says, I witnessed British district officers defecating on young FT Nigerians, carrying them about in hammocks. It says Britain must pay reparation, apologize to Nigerians, and recalls life in old Lagos where 2 Mushin gangsters' names evoked fear. Now, I don't know whatever they want to call it, but I think if you're defecating on other humans, you are seeking the head. That's just what I think.
It's dehumanizing.
And on page 26, they say Soyinka seeks Oni's help. That's interesting. And yes, it's after a visit, so there's a lot to that. And of course, on page 28, Ondo, Ayedati will approach recruitment of 500 new Amotekun operatives. Civil Service Commission holds 44th meeting in Abia, Awujale. From St. family, Ed Lord Kuku over reconciliation with Olisa. And we also have, NEYLC kicks against cancellation of the National Language Policy. And on page 29, court affirms Agbo major-led NNPP Exco party notifies INEC chairman. Ododo meets Okun leaders shows of commitment to expelling bandits from Kogi. A family of 8 dies in ghastly accident in Benue. May God rest their soul. And we have on page 30, insecurity, reps begin probe of $460 million Abuja CCTV project. CBN FATF great listing cost Nigeria $30 billion potential investment inflows. Stakeholders mold the relevance of learning materials to aid academic performance. And on Sports Extra on page 31, Made in West Africa Para Games beginning in Abeokuta. Marco Silva challenges Chukwueze to do more, and Egypt FA with Liverpool over availability of Salah for Nigeria friendly. 14th NNPC Sport Fiesta kicks off in Abuja. An embassy of France committed to football development in Nigeria. Osimhen faces late fitness test ahead of the derby with Fenerbahce. And Oyalami wins Lagos Open Golf with 3 shots. And there's an editorial starting from the back page that says they have started again. That's talking about Nigerian sports amongst many others. And that is as much as we can take right here, talking about the newspaper review. I think right after this, we'll go on for the governor's activities.
Yes, the governor's activities right there.
And then we'll be right back after that.
This week's activities of Governor Seyi Makinde commenced on Monday, 24th November, as the governor presented 2026 budget proposal to the State House of Assembly. This marks the 7th time Governor Seyi Makinde has tabled our budget before the Assembly of the total allocation of 891.9 billion naira. According to him, total recurrent stands at 389.3 billion naira, while capital expenditure is 502.64 billion naira. Governor Makinde said 210 billion naira is earmarked for infrastructure, health 70.84 billion naira, agriculture 19.9 billion naira, while 435.9 billion naira will fund other priority sectors such as security, education, and other critical areas.
Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members of the House, we stand at the threshold of a new chapter. The 2026 budget of economic expansion, totaling 891 billion, 985,074,480 naira 79 kobo. 891-985-074-480.79. Builds on the foundation of stability to drive productivity and inclusive growth. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, this is another milestone budget. We are heading closer to the ideal of 60-40 ratio between capital and recurrent expenditure.
Responding to issues raised by the lawmakers, Governor Makinde said all projects going on in the state are targeted towards ensuring accelerated development in the state. The governor clarified that attempts by certain groups to politicize ongoing circular road projects will not impede the government's completion of these projects, which are central to Ibadan land's economy.
I was forced to release from archive the documents to show adverts in Nigeria Tribune newspaper, taking those 500 meters by the right and left on November 24th, 2018. Seyi Makinde ti di governor in November 2018. That's we are engaging with our people. EBT development party, we are beyond that place. I promised the people when they came under the PHDB, if it's about to integrate, we integrate them. If they think, oh, maybe if we attack Sheyi Makinde and politicize this thing, maybe they will vote for them.
In his remark, the Speaker of Oyo State House of Assembly, Honorable Adebo Ogundoyin, pledged the continuous support with the executive arm of government in ensuring effective implementation of the budget estimates. Honorable Ogundoyin appreciated the state governor for working harmoniously with the legislative arm in facilitating meaningful development to the state. Governor Sheyi Makinde presented a total budget estimate of 891.98 billion naira, tagged Budget of Economic Expansion, with capital expenditure receiving the highest allocation of 502.6 billion naira, representing over 56% of the entire budget.
On the same day, Governor Sheyi Makinde hosted Southwest governors who came to Ibadan, the state capital, for the Southwest Governors Forum's meeting. The Southwest Governors Forum meeting, held in Ibadan, your state capital, was attended by the host governor, Engineer Sheyi Makinde, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun, Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke, represented by its deputy Prince Kola Adewusi, Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa, and Ekiti State Governor Biodun Oyebanji. Presenting the communique issued at the end of the meeting, the chairman of the forum and Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu said that the leaders reviewed critical issues affecting the region, including rising security threats, agricultural development, economic stability, and regional integration. The forum announced plans to create Southwest Security Fund that will be managed by the Dunn Commission and supervised by the special advisors on security from all 6 states.
The forum agreed to set up a Southwest Security Fund, which will be set up under the Dunn Commission. And this fund will be administered by a forum of special advisors on security of all the Southwest states. And they have been mandated to ensure that they keep on a monthly meeting amongst the 6 special advisors.
The forum, however, commended President Bola Tinubu for his laudable effort in combating insecurity and implementing economic reforms nationwide. The governors expressed solidarity with the federal government over recent security incidents in Kebbi, Niger, and Kwara states. The governor also approved the establishment of a live digital intelligence sharing platform that will enable real-time exchange of threat alerts, incident reports, and interstate security communication.
The forum commends the effort of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. The forum commends the effort of our hunters, Amoteku members, and all other security agencies. Thereafter, the forum calls on the federal government to note the urgent need for enhanced forest surveillance across the Southwest states, and join and call on the federal government to secure the vast forest belts that have become hideouts for all sorts of criminal elements.
Concerning unregulated interstate migration, the forum called for stricter border monitoring and collaboration with the National Identity Management Commission to ensure proper identification of migrants and prevent criminal infiltration. The forum further raised alarm over the rise in illegal mining activities, calling for a stronger licensing framework and tougher enforcement to curb environmental and security threats linked to unlawful mining operations.
On state police, the forum reaffirms its support for the establishment of state police, by emphasizing that the time is now, and we pray that it should not be delayed any longer. The forum further looks at issues regarding agriculture, food security and climate resilience. The forum wishes to acknowledge and appreciate the efforts of the federal government in providing food sufficiency. The forum in particular commends the various efforts of our farmers in the region for what we notice as increase in agricultural outputs and subsequent stability and reduction in food prices.
While reaffirming its commitment to working collectively to tackle insecurity and advance socio-economic development within the region, the forum urged residents to remain united and uphold the tradition of peace, religious tolerance, and social harmony for which the region is known. On Wednesday, 26th November, Governor Seyi Makinde addressed the property owners affected by the construction of the Senator Rashidi Adiwolu Ladoja Circular Road project at the Ologweru area, Ido local government, provided an opportunity for the Oyo State government and affected landowners of the Senator Rashidi Adiwolu Ladoja Circular Road to address lingering issues surrounding the ongoing project. Addressing the affected property owners within the Circular Road, the State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, reaffirmed that his administration will not betray the trust reposed in him by the people of Oyo State, pledging to remain transparent and accountable at all times. The Governor urged the affected property owners to disregard any markings placed on buildings beyond the approved 150 meters in already developed areas, stressing that the ongoing project will not exceed the designated setback.
Any Pharaoh lady to my Joseph, because if you need Godfather, to be military boy, and yeah, for long, they be military boy, and I am accountable to you. I'm accountable to you. See issues about what? Tabase party solve. Indeed, Taba solve will disappear. But Taba solve, it will still come back, and we have another goal. That's it. I need that to borrow our year.
Governor Makinde further announced that a 10-member committee will be constituted from among the landowners to work closely with the new Towns and City Development Authority in addressing outstanding concerns related to the project.
So, mobile long mark for 150 meters here. First, I disregard it. If they mark your house outside of the 150 meters, disregard it. This administration, in first segment, Maparie. Second segment, which is from Badeku to Videmania, is 40 kilometers. And share hydraulic structures, our bridges and co. Lower by. I do hope this administration will be able to do that. But from Monia to Fipada, thank you to Babi, another administration last year. Ntemi fẹ́ ṣe ní pé look, àwọn tó bá yẹ ká san compensation fún ẹ jẹ́ san compensation fún wọn. Ibi tí the main road tó bá fẹ́ lọ, I will just clear it and leave it so that everybody á mọ̀.
Representatives of the landowners, including Bale Abolade Idigbaru, described Governor Makinde as a compassionate leader who is willing to listen to the grievances of residents. They, however, appealed to him to intervene decisively and bring a lasting solution to the lingering issues affecting them.
I will beg you, look on us with compassion. You have done it before at the music house. It's standing here today because of you. Please, I will extend that act of compassion to us. Please, if you can help us reduce the 150 meters to 60.
500 meter right, 500 meter left. Mi ìfẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́rọ̀ lórí ẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n a fẹ́ kíjọba ẹ̀ kó túnṣe. Kí ni túnṣe bẹ̀? Àwa tá a wà lórí kọ́rídọ̀. Ẹ má jẹ́ kí ẹ̀fọ́ kan kó lẹ́fọ́ kan láwọn ẹja wà bẹ́ẹ̀. Ibi tí kò bá tí ìwà develop bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń sọ tí gbó sì wà mo mọ̀ pé ìjọba tó wà lóde yìí wọ́n lámẹ̀tọ́ ni wọ́n mọ bí wọ́n ṣe rìn tí wọ́n ṣe àkọ́yà ibẹ̀ náà.
Also speaking, the Ashiwaju of Ido local government, Ambassador Bamofin of Ibadan, Chief Niyi Akintola, SAN, attributed the current challenges to the actions of land sellers, whom he said had misled unsuspecting buyers. He urged the affected parties to cooperate with the government and allow room for fair intervention, assuring them that the governor would treat the matter with compassion. The governor later led other dignitaries on an inspection tour of the Circular Route project. The event was attended by the Speaker of the Oyo State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Adibo Ogodoyin, alongside other top government officials, traditional rulers, and some Ibadan Mogajis. On Thursday, 27th November, Governor Seyi Makinde attended a public presentation of 2 books, Giant Strides and Ibadan Hegemony, and a Yoruba film titled Agbeni, all authored by the Balogun of Ibadan land, His Royal Majesty Oba Bimbola Tajuddin.
The publication of Giant Strides and Ibadan Hegemony is a testament to Oba Abimbola Ajibola's unwavering commitment as the Balogun of Ibadan land. While commending Oba Ajibola on his laudable accomplishments, the Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, also urged those with stories to share about our people, culture, and heritage to do the same, as history will undoubtedly remember them. The governor noted that the books and the Yoruba film illustrated the culture and history of Ibadan land, which are consonant with seeking knowledge on how a race can make progress and enrich its people. The governor subsequently launched the books and the film with a donation of 10 million naira, while he urged the public to support the projects.
Àwọn ìwé who are consistent pẹ̀lú search for knowledge and how a race goes to progress. So ní ibi tí wọ́n ti rò pé this is not our fault. To keep accurate records, to ensure that we enrich the knowledge base. Mr. Baka, you go into history.
In his goodwill message, J. Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Rasidi Adewolu Ladoja, commended the tenacity and courage to author books and produce a film that will serve as a pointer and custodian of history and valued cultural heritage to the next generations, and charged people of the state to always contribute their quota to its development. Speaking of his motivation for writing the books and the film, Oba Ajibola stated that his objectives were to contribute to the existing body of knowledge and to educate and share his experiences about how the past can shape the future.
For the hegemony, something to do with heroes of Ibadan land, from our ancestors, from time memorial. You know, those days, we have heroes who are warriors. Starting from Ipikunle, also and so on, as I've mentioned. But today, no more war. There are more heroes. Heroes from politicians, governor, minister, those that have done very well. Heroes from religious circle, they are heroes in their own capacity.
The event had in attendance Deputy Speaker of Oyo State House of Assembly, Honorable Abiodun Fadeyi, former Minister of Trade and Investment, Chief Mrs. Onikepo Akande, Chief of Staff to the Oyo State Governor, Otumba Segun Ogunyi, Deputy Chief of Staff, Honorable Kazim Adeniyi Bibire, the outgoing Chairman in the state, Honorable Sikiru Sada, Ààrẹ Mùsùlùmí of Yoruba land, Edo and Delta States, Alhaji Daoud Makanjuola Akinola, President General, Central Council of Ibadan Indigenes, Chief Ajeniyi Ajewale, among other dignitaries.
On Friday, 28th November, Governor Seyi Makinde hosted members of the TOS Foundation who paid him a courtesy visit in his office. The delegation also included the wife of the governor, Mrs. Tamunomini Makinde. Addressing the visitors, Governor Makinde assured them that their proposal for stronger legislative measures to enhance women's participation in politics will be carefully considered. He reiterated his administration's commitment to policies that promote equity, inclusion, and broader representation for women in governance.
2-3% growth, economic growth, and for all of this period, those kind of growth cannot really take us out of poverty. We can't take enough people out of poverty with 2-3% growth. We must have double-digit growth for at least a decade before we can be there. But the foundational issues, which is federalism, not unitary type of government, and also multi-party democracy, those are very fundamental.
Earlier in her address, the leader of TOS Foundation, Mrs. Osasu Oguche, called for stronger legislative measures to boost women's participation in politics, urging the Oyo State government to back the reserved seats for women bill.
This is a reform whose time has come. We believe that when women are involved in governance, that we would improve our economy as a whole, and this nation will prosper because of it. Because women are empathically designed to legislate with, obviously, empathy, but also to legislate with the thinking of their community, you know, at the forefront. Women are going to think of their lived experiences of what it is like to be pregnant, what it is like to fend for their children when they're on the decision-making table.
She emphasized that enhancing women's political visibility will not only strengthen democracy, but also contribute to improved national development outcomes. That has been the activities of Governor Seyi Makinde for this week. With Samuel Adigo behind the camera, I am Olalekan Sulaiman, reporting for Saturday Special.
Protect every day with Hypo. Dirty and stains, no video shakara. We got the remedy, original palasa. Hypo, go Hypo. Protect your home every day with Hypo.
No green. Protect every day with Hypo.
Alright everyone, no put your ears, make we talk. Shout my teeth fresh now, but you know, I beg no be so. Ever heard of Colgate, the #1 oral care brand in the world? For zero cavities and long-lasting fresh breath. Mom, you got time to brush. Mama and Papa buy up, use up and shine your smile. No more cover mouth. Please Colgate, that's what do ya got with your smile.
Protect every day with Hypo.
Stains and dirt don't go on break.
So whiten your whites with Hypo.
Hypo, go Hypo. Protect your home every day with Hypo.
No green. Protect every day with Hypo.
Protect every day with Hypo.
Germs always find a way back.
So disinfect your living room every day with Hypo.
Hypo, go Hypo. Protect your home every day with Hypo.
No green. Protect every day with Hypo.
Alright everyone, no put your ears, make we talk. Shout my teeth fresh now, but you know, I beg no be so. Ever heard of Colgate, the #1 oral care brand in the world? For zero cavities and long-lasting fresh breath. Mom, you got time to brush. Mama and Papa buy up, use up and shine your smile. No more cover mouth. Please Colgate, that's what do ya got with your smile.
All right, welcome back. It's still Saturday special on the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State. Of course, this morning, we're looking at review of war against HIV/AIDS. And in looking at the conversation, we have two guests in the studio that will be doing justice to the topic. But before we introduce our guest, we'd like to let you know that according to reports globally, an estimated 40.8 million people were living with HIV at the end of 2024, with 1.3 million new infections and 630,000 HIV-related deaths in that year. The WHO, World Health Organization, African region, is home to 65% of all people living with HIV. In Nigeria, as at 2023 report indicated that 1,400 new weekly infection and 50,000 AIDS-related deaths, with an estimated 2 million people living with HIV. Of course, that's basically it. Our guest to discuss this morning, we have Dr. Wale Falano. Dr. Wale Falano is the coordinating director at the Oyo State Agency for the Control of AIDS, OISACA. You're welcome this morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
And it's good to have you here.
Thanks.
All right.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. We also have in our studio this morning, of course, a partner with the Oyo State Agency for the Control of AIDS and, of course, the Oyo State government. We have Mr. Muideen Issa Olayemi. He's the Oyo State Technical Officer of Damien Foundation. You're welcome to the program this morning, sir.
Good morning, Mark. Good morning, our listeners.
It's good to have you.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you here. All right, let's begin. That was just global statistics when it comes to HIV/AIDS. And we're talking about review of war against HIV and AIDS. One would have thought that at this point, that we have come up with several science, experiments. HIV, AIDS is being managed. People with HIV are not allowed to get to the point of having AIDS. And a lot of development in the health sector, to manage this ailment. So why are we still talking about, the war against it? Let's also look at this year's theme and what we are currently facing.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody, and good morning, viewers at home. I'm happy to be here. It's a pleasure to be here. Actually, we are celebrating the World AIDS Day. It's a 1-week program which we have the grand finale on Monday. We are talking about it because we are working towards eradication. But what WHO says is by 2030, we want to eradicate HIV throughout the world. And that is why we are working to prevention and treatment. Prevention for those that have not gotten it so that they will not have it, and treatment for those that have gotten it so that they will not infect any other person. In fact, the goal now is, we call it 95, 95, 95. That's before 2030. 95 of those people that have HIV would have been diagnosed. 95% of those people that have been diagnosed would have been on antiretroviral therapy for treatment. And 95% of those people would have their viral load very low so that they will not be able to transmit it to any other person again. And that is, so if that is done, then coupled with the fact that we want, children are the future. So we want the pregnant women, so when they are pregnant, so that they will have healthy babies without HIV. That's why we are doing PMTCT. We call preventing mother to child transfusion. So and that's why we are encouraging our pregnant women to go for antenatal clinic, so that when they are tested and they are positive, we know how to do. We have people we call mentor mothers. Those that have been there before, they will take care of them And once they start their treatment and they have their baby, the babies will not be HIV positive. They will have HIV, they will be negative. So it's not compulsory that someone that has HIV, pregnant will have HIV baby. You know, by the time we put all these things, and it's working, we're above 90%. By the time we are putting all these things to work, when you don't have new infections again, gradually it will go.
All right, Dr. Falano, let's have a progress check because we know you have been doing a lot of work. Let's look at the overview of what we have presently. Where does Oyo State currently stand? You know, when we talk about the ongoing fight against HIV/AIDS, and also if there is, you know, a table of figures is something that we can actually follow to make us understand better how the fight has been, where we currently stand, and the moves that we've made.
Thank you. I want to use this opportunity to thank our state governor for your state, Regina Makinde. You know, one of the actually from his first administration, from his first time, he made health as one of the pillars of his administration, and this health includes HIV and other related issues. And he has been doing very well. He has put a lot of things in place. This is what we are talking about now. So, like in Oyo State, if you look at it, the Nigeria prevalent rate is about 1.3, and Oyo State 0.9, and that was about 2004. I'm sure with things put in place now, you've reviewed, it will have been lower. There are so many states that have a higher prevalent rates, more than that of Nigeria. Oyo State is still one of the lowest in the country. We look at it, and a lot of things have been put in place to achieve this. Like we have about 53 facility centers where people can access free treatment, free testing.
Okay.
So Oyo State is on course.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. Let's quickly come to, of course, our guest from the Damien Foundation. And I'd like us to quickly look at it. Mr. Muhyiddin,
yes, ma'am.
You would agree with me that every 1st of December is the celebration of the World's AIDS Day. And your foundation is one of those organizations that have been at the forefront of this fight against HIV. Now, if you look at it categorically, where do you think we are in Nigeria, and mostly in your state, when it comes to HIV/AIDS and the prevalence of it?
All right, Ma, thank you so much. It's a privilege to be here this morning talking about this HIV in Oyo State. And then just to corroborate what the director has said before now, you see, the figures that you quoted, that's the rate for Oyo State and Nigeria as a country. But I want to speak about the data behind the figures, okay, the programmatic efforts. Why are we here? 5 years ago, we aren't where we are now. So what are the programmatic efforts behind the low prevalence, behind Oyo State coming at the very bottom on the line of the states, state ranking on HIV? You see, even donors across globally, they have observed that for you to be able to eradicate HIV in any state, in any country, there are best practices of what we have observed globally. And these are, you need to integrate TB and HIV, and even another opportunistic infection. Of course, there is no how you can eradicate HIV without TB. I will give you a statistic now. If 10 people among those living with HIV, if you have 10 deaths today, if you go and do, okay, what's responsible for the deaths? I mean, the death of those 10 people living with HIV. I will give you for free, which is what we can all verify. 5 to 6 of these people will come down with TB. TB is the main killer of people living with HIV. So globally, from WHO, World Health Organization, Global Fund, IHV, and Damien Foundation, we have seen that we also need to tackle that scourge. That is TB. So you need to integrate TB and HIV. So for HIV, what have we been doing? In every community in Oyo State, through the support of the state government, we have observed that everybody that comes to the health facility, it's not until they even come to the health facility, there must be an aggressive effort to the community, right there in the community. We need to go meet them. So now you have mentor mothers, as he has said. In Oyo State now, we have more than 100 mentor mothers over in the community, testing people, ensuring that, okay, whoever is reactive gets linked to care. Before now, the rate at which we link people to care has been low. But now there's been an aggressive effort, an active effort to ensure that everybody gets tested under the 95% that I mentioned. So that's what we're doing now. So we have mentor mothers in the community going every day to ensure that they test people who are eligible for testing. And that's why the figures have been actually getting low for Oyo State.
Okay. So, Victor, before you take your question, please allow me. Okay, so you've said a lot about efforts that have been made and the discovery behind the scene. Yes. But when you talk about tuberculosis, a lot of people at home will be wondering why tuberculosis is an opportunist in the deaths that have been recorded. And I need you to, specifically make this clear to the people. Let's know what TB is. Right. Let's have an idea of why TB has become an opportunist in the case of any deaths or major deaths coming from AIDS.
All right, thank you so much, Ma. Globally, the statistics as far as TB is concerned, Nigeria is one of the high-burden countries when it comes to TB. Africa, of course, is the highest continent when it comes to tuberculosis. In Nigeria, we give you the statistics, of course, in Nigeria. Africa, that's the highest. That's the Africa as a continent. But Nigeria, that's the 6th. Yes, we are the 6th. That's in the ranking.
In Africa?
Yeah, in Africa. No, we are number 1 in Africa.
As 6th in the world?
Yes, 6th in the whole world.
Wow.
That's the statistics for tuberculosis. So if we have these statistics, definitely, and we have said, TB is a disease of the lungs. TB is airborne disease. So it's easier for TB to spread. HIV, there are ways, of course, contact, the blood, the semen, but TB, you can't really prevent because we must breathe in. Okay. We are human.
All right.
So that's why TB spread fast. So the link between TB and HIV now, TB lowers the body immune system, just like HIV lowers the body immune system. Okay. And once the immune system of the body is lowered by HIV/AIDS, then it gives an easy entry for tuberculosis. And what does tuberculosis do? Tuberculosis, of course, we all know what happened.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that explanation and clarifier. We'll come back after this commercial break to talk more about this conversation as we review the war against HIV/AIDS. Thank you very much for sticking around with us. We are still reviewing the war against HIV/AIDS, and yes, we have Dr. Wale Falana, the Coordinating Director of Oyo State Agency for the Control of AIDS, OISACA, as well as Mr. Muideen, is the Technical Officer of Damien Foundation, Oyo State. Now, I think I'll be going with Doctor now at this point in time. What are those challenges that you face in this fight? It's been a crazy war, really, but what are those challenges, talking about personnel, innovation, strategies, pooling of resources, and all that?
Thank you. Before I go to that, let me add to what my colleagues from DMV said on tuberculosis. You say Yoruba has one adage, so that means if you have a big issue, the small ones will come around, say, I'm here. So if the HIV lowers the immunity, we have some infections that ordinarily you are not supposed to have if your immunity is okay. So, but once the immunity is low, they will come around. So some of them one of them is tuberculosis, and we have some other ones on that. That's why people, during stress, people come down with cold and catarrh, all those things. So, by the way, and I want to add again, that the executive governor of the state knew something like this. That was why he actually approved that since HIV is being taken care of now, it is this issue of the other health, we call it comorbidity, that kill people. That's why he graciously approved 10,000 slots for HIV positive people in Oyo State at Oyo State Health Insurance Scheme. So they have 10,000 slots for them. So we thank the executive governor for that. Now let me move towards the challenges. The main of the major challenges we have is stigmatization. Stigmatization. You know, they don't talk to him or don't talk to her. This has HIV, had this. So when people because of the stigmatization, people run away from testing. They don't want to know. So this leads to reduction in testing because they will say, if I know now, and then people will run away from me. Stigmatization is a major issue. So, and two, the knowledge of HIV, a lot of people don't know. That's why they behave like that, you know. So we need to let people, we are working on like prevention and treatment as measures, and there are so many areas of prevention. So those are the major, so we thank our we call them implementing partners, like DFB, like HIPI, like Society for Marriage, Society for Family Health that have been assisting us, and the community-based organizations like network people living with AIDS, NEPWAM, ASWAM, as women, and others. So they have been assisting, we have been going around. But I'm still saying it, I say it anywhere I go. I'm saying it again, and journalists too assist us. We need to assist ourselves. A lot of people, even on radio programs or TV, they will say, please, let us stop that. It's a form of stigmatization. It's not that you can live your life. There are so many things that you can't cure. But like just saying about 95 now, it's not like some drugs, some treatment, some conditions like diabetes, hypertension, and some other ones like that you don't care, but you get treated and you take care of yourself. So when people go on medication and they do their thing, so I'm saying it again now. Oyo State House of Assembly passed a bill since 2016 that and they prescribe punishment for stigmatization. So it's a criminal offense to stigmatize people. And there's another one we call workplace policy. You don't need to, I repeat, you don't need to ask for anybody's HIV status to get that person to work or to get that person to school. You don't need it. Now, on stigmatization again, please, even marriage is personal to people. You know, when HIV is not an indication for divorce, that's what we call discordant couple. That the man can have and the woman will not have. The woman can have, the man will not have. Even if they both have. I just explained to you now, they can have HIV negative children and they can live their life to any law God prescribed for them. So we need to know that, and sitting together, eating together, having drink together does not mean you are going to have HIV. Because we have seen a lot of issues like that they will send the children, small children, they send them away. Your mother says you have HIV, they will throw them away. So we are appealing to people. Let us stop that. And we are appealing to everybody. Let us get tested. Test is free. You can go up to any local government. We have people we call LACA. They work at local government. Those are the local government in charge of. And so, if you work to anybody, and like I said, we have about 53 centers where you can access. It's everywhere. And we have community testers that can go around. So, those are our major challenges.
Okay.
Other things that we have, government is assisting on that. We have test kits, we have everything. So, please, let us utilize all this and let us talk to ourselves so that once stigmatization goes away, people will be free to do whatever they want.
Okay, I want to take us back, so I beg your pardon. I've said a lot about HIV, about tuberculosis. But trust me, in the spirit of creating awareness, as the world marks, the World AIDS Day, can we tell the world or tell our audience what is HIV and what is AIDS? What's the difference between the two? Okay. Let me begin with Mr. Muhyiddin.
Okay, thank you so much. When we say HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, of course that is the virus. And when we say AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome. So from time immemorial, people think the two are just what we say, but it's a stage-wise definition. So we get one before it progresses to the other. But then at the point that it can actually be abated or prevented, so we take every precaution to ensure that we do that. So the difference between the two, number one, the virus. Of course, we know we have microorganisms. You have bacteria, you have virus, virus, that is what causes HIV and AIDS. So that is the distinction between the two. The end stage is what people see and actually ascribe. So I'll leave the remaining to Dr. Further.
Okay, so Doctor, while you're going to add to that, you also tell us, how can somebody contract HIV, and then how can it become AIDS?
Thank you. You know, there are different forms of organisms that cause infection. We have those that are caused by bacteria. We have those caused by virus. We have those that are caused by protozoas and others things. Even worms. So we have different ones. The HIV is a viral infection. Like, let me liken it to hepatitis. You know, we have different forms. We have hepatitis A, hepatitis B, C. Hepatitis B is caused by where the mode of getting hepatitis is almost the same thing like HIV, blood transfusion. So HIV virus is gotten through if there's contact, blood contact, any form of blood contact with anybody that has it. And what are the ways? You see, that's why I said again that stigmatization, we need to be careful. Some people got HIV through baby, through needle prick by their hairdresser, through blood transfusion. So that's why we need to be hard on people giving blood. People should please not take blood that don't have a label of screening from National Blood Bank. If they want to give you blood, check that thing anywhere. See that. If they want, I said if they want to give blood, the families are there now.
It's only some. Well, you can say
the families are there. I'm saying the families are there now.
Fantastic.
The families are there
because somebody who is almost dead.
Not, the families are there. When they want to give your personal blood, you make sure it is screened and certified by National Blood Bank. When they have, you see, some people will say it's the same family. Let's take from and give. You don't know what that person has. It might even be hepatitis combined with HIV. I've seen cases like that.
Really?
Yes. That the unscreened blood. Unscreened is very
combination
dangerous.
of hepatitis and HIV.
They are mutually exclusive. You can have both.
Excuse me,
yes,
sir.
you can have both. You can have both. I've seen people like that. So because there are different infections.
Wow.
Yeah. Now let's move. Now, so like I said, sharing of needle, sharing of
sharp objects
together. Before you want to go to pedicure and manicure, I always tell women, go with your pedicure set.
Okay, before we come back to going with the pedicure set, let's pay some bills. You know, we have to make some money. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Don't go away.
Are you passionate about securing a promising future for children and contributing to quality education, then join forces with us, Oyo State citizens, philanthropists, alumni associations, esteemed companies, and distinguished individuals at home and abroad under the leadership of His Excellency Governor Seyi Makinde. The Oyo State government has taken measures to ensure that every child has access to quality education. With the Oyo State Education Trust Fund, we provided textbooks, constructed and renovated school buildings, among others, but we can't do it alone. Be part of this giant stride through contributions in various forms. For more information and clarification, please call 0818-194-7496 or 0706-943-8519. This message is from the Oyo State Education Trust Fund under the leadership of its chairman, Barrister Rahman Abiodun Abdurrahim.
Alright everyone, no put your ears, make we talk. Shout my teeth fresh now, but you know, I beg no be so. Ever had a Colgate, the number one oral care brand in the world. For zero cavities and long-lasting fresh breath. Mom, it's your time to brush. Mama and Papa buy up, use up and shine your smile. No more cover mouth. Because we Colgate, that will do ya down with your smile.
All right, welcome back. It's still Saturday special on the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State. Victor, you wanted to ask?
No, we were at the place. Yeah. I had not finished answering your question.
Yeah, you were talking about kids, but I also saw that you wanted to add something
but
to
please
that.
go ahead with the kids first before we now talk about.
No, I said add government. And when you are going to have your hair done with needle, take your needle and maybe take at least 2. And tell your hairdresser, if he picks she should not use it. She should just let you know and put it down and take another one. You don't know anybody stays on. So that's about, and the same thing with men too. We're babbing kids. Go. Then we need to be careful. And again, sexually transmitted again. We preach abstinence for those, and we preach faithfulness for couples. And one of the parents against them, we are talking about barrier, condom for men and women. And all this. Now, HIV, like I said, hepatitis, HIV, once you are infected with it, you don't need to come down to the final, which is AIDS. You don't need to come down to AIDS.
So it is the stage before.
It's a stage. Once you are infected, it's not like hepatitis. Some people might have hepatitis B for life, and they'll just be spreading it. If they are not tested, it's no. And they might not come down with anything. Those people are called carriers. They distribute it. So one needs to be careful too. So for HIV, it's an infection. If you are infected with the virus, it doesn't mean you come down with AIDS. The other thing that could lead to AIDS is, one, maybe you didn't bother to check your status. I just go around, the first thing they'll be saying, the immunity will be low, like tuberculosis, and those other opportunities will come up, and the person will become lean, and having cough, fever, all those things. That's when they take you to hospital. And even if they go to hospital on time and you still be managed. So it's still go back to what I said earlier, get tested.
Doctor, and also you would also have to answer this as well. Now you've spoken about that. I think we need to understand why some people are carriers and they do not exactly, feel much of the brunt of that issue. So maybe you'd explain to people, as well as also let us know what alternative preventive measures you are working out on at OISAC and your partners.
Well, let me say one thing. Every infection has its phases. I remember some times ago, in fact, they said during America and the Vietnam War, that a lot of American soldiers died more of malaria than bullets because they didn't know about malaria then until they got it and they got treatment for it. I remember gonorrhea and syphilis used to be dangerous in those days. Now, they have captured. I remember in the past, when somebody has HIV, it was like a death sentence then. But things have improved now. Treatments have improved, the lifestyle, everything. So people taking care of their health, you take your drugs and all those things. So people live their normal life now. So I was talking about hepatitis B. But even there's hepatitis, even if you know, there are things you can do. They can be treated, they go to hospital, they will take injection, and they monitor the viral load till it becomes untraceable. So the same thing with HIV. And I said it that 95%, if you get your ART by 95%, 195% to their viral will be very low, so that they will not be transmitted to others. But HIV, you need to be on antiretroviral drugs to work, because what it does is it reduces the viral load. So you need to take it. You just need to take antiretroviral. And the same thing, I said, with pregnant women, they have it. They quickly, we talk about mental mothers, they will help them. So, and the children, once they about, they know what to do. There are things to do that the children will not have.
All right, Mr. Musa.
All right, thank you so much. Let me start from where it stopped us, the challenges that we have these in the environment. It's denial stage. Even at times when you test people and of course they are reactive, you link them to care, people still feel, no, it cannot be me. So it's also a major challenge. And then I've been saying it that denial stage, how do we overcome that? People just need to understand that people also live with other diseases. For instance, hypertension. We have aged people at home. In fact, we have people that are not even aged these days that are coming down with hypertension, diabetes. So all of these are also ailments and diseases, and we take care of people. If you are hypertensive today, of course, you'll be given, you must be on drugs, and that drugs goes to, you have to take it sometime till the end of life. So once you understand that, okay, HIV, I'm on drug, of course, that means these days, since we have drugs, if they are effective, they are from donor-sponsored, free. For TB, for HIV, the drugs are free. Then hypertension now, of course, you buy drugs out of pockets. But you see TB, you see hypertension, HIV, you also take drugs. That is how we should see most of these diseases. Number two is, we have a principle that if you cannot detect HIV, if you are a carrier, if you are living with HIV, it gets to a level that if you abide with your drug adherence, if it is undetectable, there's no how you can transmit it. Yes, you are living with HIV. If you abide with your drugs, it gets to a stage that the viral load gets suppressed. And that's why now a mother will be living with HIV, and the baby will come out without HIV. The science has improved. A lot of effort has been actually sink in this. So that's what we do to ensure that you can be living with the disease, but you will not actually come down. Once you are adhering to your drugs, once it is undetectable, it is untransmittable.
Okay, let me quickly take us up on this. I want to believe that there are common side effects of the antiretroviral drugs used for HIV. And some of them, according to report, is NUSA, fatigue, headache, rash. Though many short-term effects, also part of it is diarrhea, may decrease over time as the body adjusts. More serious long-term effects can include high cholesterol, liver and kidney problems, lipodystrophy, fats, reddish nutrition, and bone density issues like osteopenia, and on and on. Because we've come to realize that there is no drug without any side effect. Every drug has a side effect. As I speak to you, if I take paracetamol, I will sleep without taking, sleeping dose. Paracetamol alone would allow me sleep, relax my nerves. So, and we're saying, look, they should keep taking these drugs. It will help to bring down the load of the virus, no doubt. How do they also manage these side effects?
Thank you. Thank you. Before I answer that, I'll just go back to, because this is something that is painful. People do denial is because of stigmatization. So we need to work on that stigmatization. Please, we need to talk to our religious leaders and our opinion leaders too, is to work on that. Thank you. Now, my dear presenter, if I show you the side effects of paracetamol, you will not want to take it.
On the liver.
Oh, it's better we know.
I'm just telling you now. What I'm saying is, if drugs is like you are forced on you, but drugs you look at the harm and look at the benefit. Evidently, the benefits are far more important and more than the side effect. So that's why you take them. They will say even if you drink water too much, it has no side effect. If you eat food too much, there are some food that even if you tell people, this is the food, or you eat this food, if they tell you what to have, you not want to eat it. There are some people that have allergy to some food that they will just take it and their body, everything will swell up and all those. You understand? So, but the benefit of these drugs outweigh, and at the same time, you don't sit at home. That's why it's not on the counter for now. You don't sit at home and take drugs. You have, let me start. Apart from, like I told you that we work with our CBOs and all those things, and never of people having it. So they have support groups everywhere. They have support groups. So these support groups, when you are there, you tell them how you are feeling, how you are doing. They will tell you this is how to do about it. This is how. Apart from that, you go to hospital. When you go to hospital, you have any side effect, we'll take care of it. Then too, again, it is not that it's static. Like I talked about the other before, where we started from, that it was like a life sentence before now gradually. So it is not static. They are still building on it, trying to see new ways to reduce this. Like I'm telling you now, there's this vaccine that has just been developed, not yet in quantity, that maybe taking twice in a year, we are looking at it, maybe prevent people having HIV. Taking twice in a year. So medicine is not static. It's not static. It's not that we are here, we are there. No, you keep improving. So till you get to that almost optimal distance.
Now, let me quickly ask. Let me come to Mr. Muhyiddin. Right. Mr. Muhyiddin, so let's assume that someone has HIV.
Okay.
And the partner does not have. Doctor has said earlier that the fact that you have HIV does not mean you should divorce your spouse.
Yes.
How can the person who is the spouse without HIV live with the partner, have sexual intercourse without having HIV infection?
All right, thank you so much. Just before I dwell into that, let me just stress the role of counseling to drug adherence and to what we just mentioned now, and the side effects that you mentioned. You see, for every drug, we have said, we look at the harm reduction phase. So counseling, as far as we are concerned, that's why we've been employing all our healthcare workers, that at every point that we meet with our clients, we don't call people patients these days, they are our clients. Yes, they are our clients. At every point of time that we meet with them, we try to give them counseling from the beginning of the initiation of the drugs. Okay, we give them all of these loads of side effects that could be. And we also give them the fact that you could experience other side effects that are not on this list, so that you have already prepared the mind of that client that will be going through the therapy. So if he or she observe any of these side effects, then, psychologically, he or she is well prepared, and it actually goes a long way. But if the counseling does not get to that point, and here counseling needs to be in a very friendship way, so that the person will understand. Once the counseling goes, with the client forever, if there is anything that comes up, even if it's not mentioned during the counseling, he or she will have that courage to come back to the center, to the primary health care center, or the hospital, or doctor, and complain. But if the counseling is not thorough, they would rather stop taking the drugs and the viral load will not be suppressed. So that's about that. So on the question that you just asked me, that's discordant couple. Yes, the man is living with HIV, the woman is not, or the other way around. Yes, there are in fact, today we are living in a world of science, and the diagnosis, the improvement, the stages, the process, the drugs have been seriously developed. So now, in 20 years ago, or let me say 3 decades ago, you can't say all of this. But now, voluntarily, you can go before marriage, and you discover that today, in fact, we've had so many experiences in different places where at the point of testing, you found out that the man who wants to marry is HIV negative and the woman is HIV positive. Yes, once you have done the counseling and they are aware, I'm telling you, most of them will say, there's no problem. We leave, that's counseling. So what are now the processes that we need to ensure?
Are you saying they get married when they know they're married?
Yes. We've had so many field experience. In fact, in local managers in every local government, they are doing wonderfully well. And I want to say a loud shout out to Oyo State local managers. They really understand that. So once we discover that, of course, do I disclose your status to your intending partner? Of course. Once they both agree, okay, do you want me to disclose this in the presence of the two of you? Yes. Once they give you consent, consent is key here. Of course, you guide them. These are what should be done, and these are what not to be done. So people will live together. In fact, they will marry. Once they marry, they give birth, and the children. We have 3 days ago, I was in a meeting where people were giving testimony. People living with HIV, discordant couple. In fact, father and mother that are both infected, coming down with children that are not infected.
Okay. No.
Okay, sorry, I want to add to that.
Okay.
There's what we call, there are two things. There's what we call pre-exposure prophylaxis and post-exposure prophylaxis treatment. And something like that is post-exposure are people like vulnerable. They can take the treatment to prevent this. So it doesn't mean that they will get it. And that's another thing. Let me come to you again. God, we might not rape cases. If a woman has unfortunately to be raped, people always go, okay, yeah, go and do evacuation and go down. No. The first thing you have to do is go to the hospital, because post-exposure prophylaxis must be within the 72 hours of exposure. So once within 72 hours, you start your treatment, they take your status, and you will not come down with HIV. Even if this person had HIV, you will not come out with HIV. So it's the same thing with discordant couple and everything. You can be on the post-exposure prophylactic, and it helps.
All right, now I think we need to change the course of the conversation to a specific area that will help us better in strategizing. How do we speak to, now I'm asking both of you, but I think Doctor will go first, partnerships, collaborations, synergizing with different individuals, because I've listened to what both of you have said at different times, and it looks like you are harping a lot more on how to harness the benefits of community engagement, advocacy, sensitization, counseling, like you mentioned the other time. And without some things, those fights will not be won. So how do we speak to community engagements, partnerships, re-strategizing, getting, because now it's not just about what you do, but also who they listen to in church, in mosque, in the families, wherever they are in their little setups in the community. So how do we address that?
Thank you. That's one of the things we do. Like I said, we have community-based organizations that are assisting us, are going to this. And we too, we do a lot of sensitization too. We go to marketplaces, we go to communities, we go to churches. And in fact, Oyo State has done very well. Oyo State Saka, we just inaugurated Oyo State SACA ambassadors. You know what the slogan is? You need to take it yourself now. It's not foreign and driven now. You have to make sure you take charge of everything your local level. So we just inaugurated our SACA ambassadors, eminent people in the society, in August, from all the health zones in Oyo State. Like in Ibadan, we have our Ayimba, Her Excellency, Chief Kuchat Ladoja. I've been very helpful. We have from Oyo, we have Baba Ladibulu, and as a very reverend Ladibulu. We have in Ogbomoso, that's Aswaju of Ogbomoso, Chief Balogun. We have from Iseyin, Honorable Sinapelas. We have from Kisi, Alhaji Babalola. And we have the chairman, House Committee on Health, Honorable Sanu, as well. So those are the people, and they are helping us to. Apart from that, we have other people. So Oyo State has actually, as a pace setter, we are looking forward to improve on this thing, and so with all these people in charge, they are assisting us. We get to opinion leaders, community leaders, religious leaders, and what NACA is doing now. NACA has just inaugurated. They know the effect of the religious leaders on the people. So NACA has just inaugurated faith-based activities, faith-based organizations. We have them now. So they are just in both religions. So and we have inaugurated and we have been meeting, and they have been part of this program. We have been, so that everybody will know how. A lot of people they listen to their pastors and their imams on them. So that's how it's been taken care of. But generally, we are still treating it. Everything starts from home. Let us show love. Let us, as you people, you can't get it if you don't have blood contact. So we need support. The people need support, because that in those days people just go and hang themselves. Once they say that, they go and hang, because the way some people will talk to them. So it still go by. We need to reduce stigmatization. So we need to reduce, and we need to talk to our people. But we are doing that a lot. Like in our agency, we have a director, we have a director that was community mobilization, and we have our community mobilization officer who coordinates all these activities about the community and all that. So we are on course.
Right, how about you?
All right, thank you so much. Partnership, strategizing, what we've been doing differently. I'm very happy when the DG mentioned that. The efforts, it's no longer in news. And January 30th of this year, we all got the facts from the U.S. stop work order, then executive order that was actually passed, the funding freeze, which affected HIV. Of course, you agree with me that these are issues that bettered the fact that we need to do community resource mobilization, domestic resource mobilization, and SACA is leading in that. Everyone actually appreciate SACA then and even till now, that for taking this ownership of the people. We need to take ownership of our people, of their health matters. Once we take ownership, then there will be sustainability. We can't have ownership without, sustainability without taking ownership. You see, all across the world, we've been having this dwindling funding landscape. Yes, so Nigeria as a country, it's in the next few years, we do not really need to depend on external donor funding. In as much, because we also have people, we have philanthropists, we have people who are passionate to ensure that by 2030, the goal is that we eradicate HIV, TB, and malaria. Lastly, is about what we are now doing differently. You see now, the whole world, globally, we have seen that there's no much that we can do that can be done if you are pitching your tent here as a healthcare response. We need to integrate all of these diseases. So now the theme is that we are integrating HIV, tuberculosis, and malaria, and that is the next phase, integrating that at every point of care in the community, our people have access to this test. They have access to TB test, HIV test, and even malaria. If we can integrate these three diseases, it will be cost effective and it will be patient friendly. And then we are good to go. We can eradicate.
All right, quickly, let's speak to you about participation beyond the awareness and the sensitization and everything. Okay. How do we get more people aware about this, engaged in advocacy and, peer-to-peer groups?
All right, sir. So thank you so much. In this, how do we ensure that the awareness goes further than this? Just a few days ago, we also got some support that for your states, even this World AIDS Day commemoration should be expanded to more than one local government. So at least we're starting with 6 local governments during this World AIDS Day commemoration. So we'll go to different local governments that have been selected, Akinyele, Onara, Ibadan North, and some other local governments. We ensure that we do, the rally, the advocacy, sensitization, to ensure that people need to be educated in terms of what we're saying. So with all of this and the support that we have on ground, that will actually improve what people have. People will be able to unlearn the myth, and of course, we learn what we have that can actually gain better as far as our strength is concerned and health.
Okay, Doctor, how about you speaking about the active participation of the youth, especially?
Oh, good. Thank you. You see, SACA is not a standalone thing. We are coordinating. But we have both those we call line ministries. Line ministries are ministries that we think that should be involved in the active business. So we have like Ministry of Education, we work together. Ministry of Women Affairs, we work together. In fact, they have been assisting. I just told you that some people will throw away children, and the Ministry of Women Affairs have been helping us to get homes for those children. Orphanage homes. So, like, we just supported some of these orphanage homes during this work and giving them some of the things which we have done. So, then we connect other things together. Then we have a Ministry of Youth Agency, Ministry of Youth. So, youths, we work together with them and everything. So, we work together with the youths. And like I told you, we have a youth arm of people living with HIV/AIDS. We have youth arm. So they too, they come and we work together on sensitizing and how to do this. So we are doing a lot of things on that.
Okay, as we went down on the program this morning, I'd like you to tell us, if I want to get tested, where is a certified facility to get tested? If I want to treat, where do we have certified facilities to treat? In just a few words, okay, and then we call it a wrap.
We have, I told you, we have 53 centers throughout. So all the local government, PSC, you can walk into any of them. And you know the good thing about this thing, we know the effect. Like he said, you don't just go, they say, like my royal test for my, no. They will cancel you. That this is how it should be. If you are positive, this is how, if you are negative, this is what you should do. So it will be interactive. So before they now do the test. So after and the test is free. And if you need treatment, there are people there again that they will cancel for treatment, all these are the side effects and support group, and the treatment too is free. So it is everywhere, it's near us. And we have community testers that people go around to test people.
Okay.
Thank you.
You want to tell us, in the coming days, what should we expect from Damien Foundation in Oyo State and Nigeria?
All right,
in just a few words.
In the coming days, starting from Monday, we have a portable digital X-ray equipment that will go along commemorating the World AIDS Day from every community from one community to the other. So you have a portable digital X-ray that will screen people. It's AI driven. That will screen people to assess, to look, to evaluate them do they have indices that are suspicious of TB or not, just to ensure that, and of course during that same outreach, we ensure that we test for malaria and HIV. So in the next few days, that's what we expect, integrating the three diseases. Then we also anticipate more support from everybody within the community, and also the donor funding to ensure that we get to the goal of 2030.
All right, 2030 goal is on the table, and for all of us to get ourselves prepared to join the fight against HIV and AIDS so that we can prevent and save more lives. Of course, I want to say a big thank you to our guests in the studio. First is Dr. Wale Falano, who is the coordinating director of your state agency for the control of AIDS, OISACA. Thank you very much for coming to enlighten the people on this. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, we also want to say a big thank you to Mr. Muhyiddin Issa Olayemi, who is your state technical officer for Damien Foundation. Thank you very much for coming. We appreciate you for sharing your wealth of knowledge and, of course, experience with us this morning. And they're not just the only one in the studio.
We have a team right here with us.
Yes.
And they have been big warriors in the fight. We have the Oisaka team. The Director of Admin and Supplies, Mrs. Omokwemi Adenike. Thank you very much for being here with us. The Monitoring and Evaluation Officer, Mr. Abdulwahab Taufik. Thank you very much for being here with us. We also thank the Community Mobilization Officer, Mrs. Ajao Afsat, for joining us this morning, as well as the Damien Foundation Belgium Officer, Mr. Isao Shitu. Thank you very much for being right here with us. So, yeah, the fight continues.
Yeah, and of course, it begins with us.
Definitely.
All right, on this note, we'll go on a break. And when we come back, of course, we're going to be taking our global updates. Stay with us. Don't go away.
It's another edition of Global Update on Saturday Special. This morning, my name is Bimbo Akombi. Firefighting and rescue operations at Hong Kong's deadliest blaze in decades have ended, and a government spokesman have said, with the death toll rising to 128 and about 200 people still missing. Hong Kong Security Chief Chris Tang said on Friday that rescue efforts at the residential development have now wrapped up. According to the fire service, the flames were largely extinguished as of 10:18 a.m. on Friday, and firefighting operations have ended, the fire service said, announcing the end of its operations.
Our firefighting operation is almost complete. Despite that, we are still carrying out firefighting operation to 4 individual units, and damping down to various units of the 7 blocks are still in progress.
The 8-tower Wang Fuk Court estate in the northern district of Tai Po, which houses more than 4,600 people, have been undergoing renovations and was wrapped in bamboo scaffolding and green mesh when the fire started and quickly spread on Wednesday afternoon. Police said they had arrested 3 construction company officials on suspicion of manslaughter for using unsafe materials, including flammable foam boards, blocking windows.
Police arrested 3 men around their 50s at midnight, who are the company executives in charge of the renovation at Wang Fuk Court. They are now in custody.
On Friday morning, firefighters continued to work at the still smoldering complex. Rescuers had battled intense heat, thick smoke, and collapsing scaffolding and debris as they fought to reach residents feared trapped on the upper floors of the complex. Sri Lanka has closed government offices and schools as the death toll from floods and landslides across the country has risen to 56, with more than 600 houses damaged, according to officials. Sri Lanka began grappling with severe weather last week, and the conditions worsened on Thursday with heavy downpours that flooded homes, fields, and roads and triggered landslides across the country. More than 25 people were killed on Thursday in landslides in the central mountainous tea-growing regions of Badula and Nuwara Eliya, which is about 300 kilometers east of the capital Colombo. Another 21 people were missing and 14 were injured in the Badula and Nuwara Eliya areas, according to the government's Disaster Management Center, quoted by the Associated Press news agency. Others died in landslides in different parts of the country. As the weather conditions grew worse, the government announced the closing of all government offices and schools on Friday. Due to heavy rains, most reservoirs and rivers have overflowed, blocking roads. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has suspended Guinea-Bissau from its decision-making bodies over a coup in the West African country. ECOWAS Mediation and Security Council, MSC, took the decision after an emergency meeting late Thursday. Military officers took over power in Guinea-Bissau on Wednesday, about 3 days after the country's disputed presidential and legislative elections. But the ECOWAS MSC has condemned the coup, faulting the arrest of persons including President Umaru Embalo, who had been favored to win Sunday's elections. The ECOWAS leaders demanded the military officers respect the will of the people and allow the country's electoral body to announce the election results without delay. In the meantime, the coup leaders have appointed the new Chief of Staff of the Army, General Ota Ntam, as the country's new leader for 1 year. At least 13 people, including children, have been killed and 25 were injured as Israel launched another incursion into Syrian territory in the Damascus countryside, according to state media, with several Israeli soldiers also reported wounded in clashes. Syrian state media reported on Friday that 2 children were among those killed in the Israeli dawn raid and strikes, which forced dozens of families to flee from the town of Beit Jin to nearby and safer areas. The Syrian Foreign Ministry condemned the criminal attack carried out by an Israeli occupation army patrol in Beit Jin.
Yesterday was the day that the Syrian transition turned ugly, but there have been attacks for a very long period of time now. A group calling itself the Syrian Popular Resistance announced its presence via telegram in December of last year and has been carrying out a low-level insurgency against the new government's forces. So this has been something that's been building for quite a while. The difference here is that this was not an isolated attack. This was a planned ambush. Now, we know that government forces entered those coastal regions to try and flush out and find and arrest members of the previous regime, high-profile members who did not report to these reconciliation centres or to hand in their weapons. So this was kind of a response to a police action by the regime, but it was heavily coordinated and organised. It's clearly been designed to make a splash and to put Syria on the path to sectarian conflict and civil war. So it is unfortunately an unwelcome return to the Assad regime's ugly tactics of dividing and ruling Syria through stirring sectarian tension.
The occupation forces targeting of the town of Beit Jin with brutal and deliberate shelling following their failed incursion constitutes a full-fledged war crime, it said. The remains of at least 5 Syrians, including 2 children, were taken to the Golan National Hospital in the city of Al-Salam in Quneitra, according to the Syrian Arab News Agency. Israeli drones also continue to fly over the area, the report added. And finally, United States President Donald Trump has said one of 2 National Guard troops shot a day earlier near the White House has died, while the other soldier is fighting for his life. Trump said that West Virginia National Guard member Sarah Beckstrom died from wounds sustained in the double shooting on Wednesday, a short distance from the White House after being ambushed.
I must unfortunately tell you that just seconds before I went on, right now, West Virginia, one of the guardsmen that we're talking about, highly respected, young, magnificent person. Started service in June of 2023. Outstanding in every way. She's just passed away.
President Donald Trump hailed 20-year-old Beckstrom as a highly respected, young, magnificent person. He said that fellow serviceman 24-year-old Andrew Wolf remains in critical condition. Authorities have named Ramanaullah Lakanwal, a 29-year-old Afghan national, as the main suspect in the shootings of the two National Guard members.
We're working very closely with our federal partners, especially DHS and the FBI, to review his immigration history and the vetting process itself.
The Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, said that Lakanwal had worked for the United States Spy Agency in Afghanistan before emigrating to the U.S. in 2021, shortly after the withdrawal of Western forces from the country. U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Jeanine Pirou, said on Thursday that prosecutors would pursue first-degree murder charges against Lakanwal should either or both of the victims not survive the gun attack.
Number one concern is that all these 195,000 Afghans that came here during the last administration are going to be painted with the brush of this man.
And that will be all on today's edition of Global Update on Saturday Special. My name is Bimbo Akambi. Enjoy your weekend.
All right, of course, it's been a great time on Saturday Special. We've learned a lot. Remember, there's a punishment against stigmatizing anyone with HIV in our society. There's a law in your state that kicks against stigmatization. So be careful. Don't stigmatize anyone. And of course, that law also says that you should not, in any way, you should not ask anybody you want to employ to tell you about their status. It's a personal thing. But of course, more importantly, don't endanger other people. I am Jadisola Ajibola, saying have a splendid weekend.
And of course, I am Victor Opena, wishing you all the best of this weekend. Do enjoy yourself. Have a swell time with friends and family.